1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8.
Johnny Lamb Jones.
As a season ticket holder of the Jets, I'm going to fool Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Obviously, the Jets know something that, the people up there don't.
Fullback, hello. Roger Vick, Jeff Lageman.
Jets just don't understand the dress all about.
Blair Thomas, running back, Penn State. Johnny Mitchell. The New York Jets select tight end from Penn State, Kyle Brady. Vernon Golson.
Cleveland traded the 5th pick to the New York Jets. And with the 5th pick in the 2009 NFL Draft, New York Jets select Mark Sanchez.
D. Milner. Dino Smith. Jets select quarterback Christian Hackenberg.
Sam Darnold.
The New York Jets select Zach Wilson.
Future Pro Bowler, Elijah Moore.
Michael Carter, running back.
What's up, everybody? Dude, I'm having big problems with my battery on my computer. It might cut us off, man. So let's get it all out now. This is GreenBean. Welcome to the After Hours Jets Fest. I'm going to change the lighting in here for you. What do you think? Let's change the lighting so it gets a little after hours-y. All right. Ooh, what do you think of that? Is that good? Let's do this color. Oh, wait. There it is. The After Hours Jets Fest has begun. Welcome, everybody. I am GreenBean, and I'm really freaking out about my battery, everybody. So I'm going to invite myself to this stream. In the event I get cut off, let me see if I can just invite myself here. Entering the studio. Okay, here we go. I see Hawk. I see Joe. What's up, Joe? What's up, Mitt Flair? I see Mitt Flair. I see Squirmy Weasel in the house. Look at this. This is the best. You guys are the Big Green. He's with me in the morning. He's with me at night. Hello. All right. And here I go. I'm going to come in. Here I go. Hey, everybody. Yeah. Woo. All right. I'm going to put this guy on the hold for a minute. In the event my computer dies, I have that as a backup. What do you think? See, I know what I'm doing. Come a long way from being on the road in Ohio with no internet, my friends. I'll tell you what. Snowball wants to talk a little bit about James Morgan. Oh, that's okay. We don't need to do that to ourselves tonight. What is James Morgan doing? Maybe Dom C knows. I see Dom C in here. Jay-Z Jets fan finds his way to being first a lot, 50% of the time, right? You're up. You're in there, man. What is this? Why can't I lower it any more than it is? Hold on. Hello? Okay. Braden's in here. What's up, man? Oh, wait, well, Jay-Z said, trade Zach and our first and third round for Carr and Adams. I would do that without question. Zach Wilson, first and third for Carr and Adams and a fourth. How's that sound? Got to do it. Got to get me a fourth. But I would do it, man. I mean, that's a lot of money there, Jay-Z. Braden's in the house. I just finished. Well, good for you. Welcome home, Braden. As we know, Braden's on the other side of the planet, this globe. Oh, unless you're a flat earther, then Braden's just way over there. He's on the other side of this pancake we live on. But either way, we're far away, and Braden just got home from work as we're like kind of settling in for the night. We're all nuzzling. Braden's just getting home. He's going to pour himself a glass of Australian or New Zealand brand. Well, I forget what the lemonade was. Was it Australian or no? I had the Australian lemonade. That's what it was, not you. You had, I forget what you called it. It looked good though. Pour himself a nice little drink and relax. John Hepburn's here. What's up, John? Hey, fellers. Kyle Ornsby. There's Ant-Man himself. No pants. That's right, superfan. As you guys know, we were just in the Talking Jets panel over at Jets Talk 24/7 with the two greatest of all Jets content creators, in my opinion, Ryan and Matt O'Leary. And I promised if you come over to the After Hours Jets Fest, you are not required to wear pants. But there is a requirement. You are required not to stand up. Fair? Fair enough? Well, actually, I'm the only one who can't stand up, really. I can't see you guys anyway. A fungus among us. What's up, buddy? No pants. He's on the pants tip, too. See that, man? I like knowing what I say sticks. I like that. So who's our newest member here? E-Boogie in the house. Thank you, E-Boogie. I'll get right to it. Where is it? I want to say hello to everybody, but I got to get to my new member. E-Boogie, thank you, is the newest member of the Stream Beaners, which is a growing membership, which is going to have a bunch of cool things. As you guys know, I'm only allowed certain amount of emojis depending upon how many members I have. So I think, E-Boogie, your membership allows me to get one more emoji in there. So I have a whole bunch of fun emojis I'm going to put in there so you guys can properly express yourselves. But in addition to that, next year we're going to do a fantasy league, and we're going to have some private mocks and all that. Now, it's not quite to the extent as the Beanbaggers. The Beanbaggers is a whole big thing. The link to join that is in the description. That's my Patreon. And like even tomorrow night, me and Dom C are going to go over some all 22 film with the Beanbaggers in a private Zoom room. And we're going to have all sorts of fun dissecting some of the best defensive plays of this 2022 season. And then in the following weeks, we start to break down different positional groups in the draft. And it's fun, man. And then we watch classic games and everything like that. But that's the Beanbaggers, and this is the Stream Beaners. So thank you, E-Boogie. You're the newest one. Balls be hurting is in the house. Big Green, what do you say? I'm upset, although not as bad as everyone else. We hit our goal of in the hunt, just not how we imagined. You know, look, dude, Big Green, that's really the truth of it. I am upset. I am extremely disappointed. I can't believe all we needed to do after the Bears game was get 2 wins. That's it. 2 wins. And we were in the playoffs and we couldn't do it. And you think about this. We had 4 one-score games, or 4 or 5 one-score games. The only 2 games that were not, I believe, were the Seattle game and the Jaguars game. Every other game was a one-score game. There were numerous games where the opposing team didn't even score a touchdown or scored 1 touchdown, and we still couldn't win. So, like, that's the thing. We were in the hunt till the very end, man. There was only 1 game this year that we were not in the playoff mix. And again, even though it is totally an epic collapse, there's no denying that. The truth is we got to a lot of our markers this year. We did. We got to a lot of them. And then you add to that, we had the 31st overall defense last year. And this year we're top 5. By some metrics, we're number 1. We have potentially the defensive rookie of the year, potentially the offensive rookie of the year. We got little bubbling studs all over the place. Jermaine Johnson, obviously Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. We got DJ Reed, Quinnen Williams. Like, there are guys all over this roster that give us more hope than we've been able to really have in a long time. Now, we've hoped, right? Shit, you think I hated the Adam Gase signing or hiring? Hated it. I hated a lot of the moves that they made during that time, but I hoped, I wanted, I rooted, right? This gives us legitimate reason to have hope. And look, man, again, you can't remove how epic this collapse was. It's up there with the biggest in our history. That said, there's still a lot of progress with this staff, and we tweak a couple things, like particularly quarterback. If we had an average quarterback, we're in the playoffs. No doubt in my mind. We trounced Miami last week. We definitely beat the Patriots in the second game. We are 1 catch away in the Vikings game. We win that game. We beat Detroit. All those games, like, we win 2 to 4 more games without question. All we get is a 65% completion percentage quarterback. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Genesonics in the house. So is Twisted. What's up, guys? Jimmy's here. Hey, Jets Mess, where you been, buddy? I feel like I haven't seen you in a minute. You hope you're good. You hope everything's okay. Jets Mess is one of the originals, man. He's like when I had 5 people watching, Jets Mess was in the group. So thank you. I'm glad you're here. Now, Joe S says James Morgan was the worst pick for Joe Douglas. You know what, dude? I feel the same way. And let me tell you this, Joe. That draft, if you guys remember, that was the first draft that me, Ryan, and Matt got together. We also had our buddy Gangrene David with us. That was the first year that we got together and did the live stream for the draft. But it just so happened the first round was my last night in my former house before we hit the road. So the next day, I was still like kind of getting everything together in my RV. We just moved out of a 3,400 square foot house into a 200 square foot tube, and it was COVID and the whole thing. So the second and third round, the following days, I wasn't on the stream. I would call in and stuff, but I was up to my ears in what I was doing and moving and everything. Those are my first 2 days on the road. Now I loved the Makai Becton pick. Truth is, and I said it on the stream, I would have gone with Tristan Wirfs, but I still loved the pick. I loved the position. I wanted a tackle more than a wide receiver, and I thought that either one is fine, even though I thought Tristan Wirfs was a safer pick. I loved the Makai Becton pick. I loved that it was a tackle. I also loved the Denzel Mims pick. I thought finally we have a general manager that knows what the hell he's doing. He didn't just take a defensive tackle again. You know what I mean? Like McCagden, you never understood. It never made any sense. This draft made sense, and I was so excited. Then he followed that, Joe, with Ashton Davis, which I was like, we had Marcus May and Jamal Adams on the roster. I'm like, what? I didn't like that pick. And then he did Jabari Zuniga, which I thought he was around early, but I did like the pick. And again, defensive end, edge rusher, makes a ton of sense. You went left tackle, you went wide receiver, you went edge rusher. It made sense. Then he goes and he takes LaMichael Pirine, which I liked. Again, same thing as Jabari Zuniga. I thought he was around early. I thought Pirine was a 5th. I thought Jabari Zuniga was a 4th. But I did like the player. But then he took James Morgan. And I'm thinking, Ashton Davis, LaMichael Pirine, James, like, what's happening to our draft? You know what I mean? I didn't understand it. Then he did Cam Clark. Loved the Cam Clark pick. Loved it. Thought it was fantastic. Our second offensive lineman, I thought it was perfect. Then he did Bryce Hall in the 5th. I couldn't believe Bryce Hall was there. Truth is, I was yelling Bryce Hall in the 3rd. I was. So anyway, it was, but James Morgan, just like Dom C is saying, he's a door-to-door salesman for Manscaped. Speaking of which, what do you say we give this away tonight? What do you think, Dom? If you guys are subscribers to my channel, if you're not, you can do it right now and you will count. By the end of the stream tonight, I'm going to go ahead and give this thing away. But damn it, man, my computer, I don't understand what the fuck is going on. It's like it's just dying. It's plugged in, but it's dying. It's just, it looks like I'm not going to make it, guys. But anyway, I got my cell phone, so we'll try to do it that way. I hope that works. I mean, I'm plugged in. I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. Holy shit. So that's the one that's charged. Yeah, it's like, it's telling me like you're in trouble. That's what it's telling me right now. I just won't charge. Anyway, let's try to get some shit done here. So there it is. So eBoogie, like I said, is a newest stream beaner. And we got a super chat from our buddy Joe S. Tap the like button, support the channel. Go Jets. Indeed. And that's another way you can support the channel, guys. Hit that little like button. It helps us out a great deal. You'd be blown away, man. YouTube, it's about the algorithm. It's about, obviously, views. But then it's like button, comments, and then time that you guys watch. So if you guys watch for 30 seconds, it's a view. If you only watch for 30 seconds, it's a negative for us. If you watch for 10 minutes, it's good. Depending on how long the video is, it's good. You know. But thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. Tony Alexio, LaFleur blows turkey. Maybe he does. John Heibendahl, what's up, John? Thank you for the super chat. He says, JD, do what you need to do to get us in the playoffs in 23 or you're out, period. I mean, look, we don't know what 23 is going to look like. And if we don't make the playoffs, why that would be or what have you. But the truth is that there very realistically can be a playoff mandate. But I'm going to tell you, John, and I believe this, I don't think Joe Douglas is in the slightest bit of trouble. I really don't. He's proven, even if he misses on some, and even if they're the big ones, let's say Zach is officially a big bust. And let's say the coaches aren't the coaches. I still think Joe Douglas has proven enough that even though he missed, he knows what he's doing and he's the best GM we've had here. I think he can make it. I think he can weather it. Now, you guys will say that no GM weathers, missing on the quarterback, the number 2 overall pick, and the coaching staff. Well, look at Steve Keim out there in Arizona. He had this is his 3rd coach now, and he fired him. Right, Steve Keim, didn't Steve Keim take a hiatus or something? Well, either way, the Arizona Cardinals. Let me see here. Steve. Yeah, my computer's a mess right now. It's gonna die, guys. I want you to know that. Let me just see here. Like everything's slow. Like it's dying. I'm gonna try to shut some more shit down. Like why? Let's see. Steve Keim. Yeah, so GM tenure had hits. Did he? Oh, Steve Keim steps aside. Do you see that? Well, it makes sense because let me tell you, Steve Keim, he had Bruce Arians as his coach. Bruce Arians retired. He went and hired Steve Wilkes, and then they used the number 9 overall pick on Josh Rosen. He fired Wilkes and got rid of Rosen. The next year, didn't even give them more than a season. Just said, you're both losers. You're both out. I don't want them. And don't forget, Steve Keim also had the big DUI thing, and he was, drunk driving and everything else. So he had all that sort of stuff. But then he hires Cliff Kingsbury after, by the way, they threw the entire organization. I'm really lagging, aren't I? I got to see something. Like I said, I'm in big trouble over here. I don't even know if I'm still live. Am I still live here? Let me see. Okay, I look good. Anyway, what was I? Shit, what was I just saying? Steve Keim. I lost it. Oh, no, so remember when we were hiring a coach and they were hiring a coach, the Steve Keim-led Arizona Cardinals offered McCarthy full reign. They were going to give him control, final say on everything football related. So Steve Keim would have been assistant. And Mike McCarthy said, the only team I'm going to come and coach for this season is the New York Jets. If it's not the New York Jets, I'm going to take the year off. So he snubbed them. Then don't forget, Cliff Kingsbury came to the Jets first. The Cardinals had already offered him the job. He came to the Jets first to see if we would give him the job. When we said no, we were going to continue to interview. He accepted the job on the flight over. Remember, he landed in Arizona as the head coach. So anyway, look at all Steve Keim weathered all that. Now, clearly today or whatever, he's stepping aside. So that might be a nice way of saying, hey, we're going to fire you, buddy. And I think rightfully so. But 3 coaches, 3 quarterbacks, the whole thing. And he hasn't built a winner, even though they've gotten 10 wins and all that shit. Anyway, I think that Joe Douglas, especially if he has another strong draft class this year, like let's say he hits Just like, let's say he reproduces to some degree the success of the 2022. So 2022 obviously had 3 firsts, and so we're not going to do that. But let's say he does something like he trades back, he gets an extra second, and he takes an offensive tackle and he hits, and then he uses his seconds and he takes a free safety. That's great. And like, let's say he does that again. You can't fire that guy because Zach Wilson and Robert Saleh suck. Like, you can't. In my opinion, you can, but that's my thoughts on it anyway. So Omar says, nah, him and Saleh are connected. He's talking about Joe Douglas. I think so too, man. I think that Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh are lockstep, but I don't think that Hey, are you guys still here? Hold on a second. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. Tell me in the chat if you can hear me. I'm going to try to shut this down, I think, but hold on. Let me see if I can at least get my phone. I had the phone going. Yeah, they're there. You guys are fucking crazy, by the way. I want you to know that. You guys are nuts. There's still 80 of you in here. You're madmen. All right, let me get this guy in here. See now. Now, I'm just going to do this. Hold on. I'm going to leave this on in case. So we'll spend a few. I want to make sure I get to. There was a few super chats in here I wanted to get to. I feel bad. I can't get to them. I can't get to the super chats. Well, let's say this. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are the best. I mean that. I was on my phone. I had to run from the studio to try to at least use like a different outlet in my house or just give it a second to breathe. And I was watching on the phone, like trying to come in. But yeah, I couldn't believe you guys were still here. And I couldn't shut it down. Like, that's the whole thing. I couldn't access it like YouTube. Because it's just run through this platform, StreamYard. I couldn't go through YouTube to end it. And I couldn't get in. I was freaking out. I'm just staring at you guys. But you guys are the best. So there's a little bit of echo. Is there? Hold on. Let me see here. How about now? It shouldn't be now. Let me see. Is there echo now? Tell me. Like a broadcaster, you're the voice of sanity with all the. I know we're nuts, Paris. We really are. We're nuts.
I'm so used to hearing you with the microphone, so it might sound weird.
Yeah, no, but it's this. Like I have because I'm keeping it on. Want to see my house, everybody? There it is. Look at my house. See, remember I used to be in the RV. Now I'm. See, I want to show you my sister-in-law. All right, no echo. Okay, I took care of it. Turn the phone around so we don't get the echo. Yeah, I had to just put that mic on mute. That because it's even there's like a slight delay, you know. All right, let me see. I saw some super chats. Boogie, thank you, buddy. He just says he's back. I am. So we'll hang out for 2 more minutes, and then we'll or maybe 5 more minutes. Let's give it 5 more minutes in honor of you guys being here. But here I wanted to say we were talking about Steve Keim and whether or not Joe Douglas is going to weather. If let's say Robert Saleh and let's say we don't make the playoffs next year. Now, what I would think is this. Let's say hypothetically, thank you, A Fungus Among Us. Thank you. Let's say that we are in next season and it's like, let's say we're halfway through the season and we have no wins. We're 0-8. Joe Douglas is going to have some decisions to make because at that point, he's given Robert Saleh, that would be now 8 first-round picks in the first 3 years of his tenure. In addition to that, he'll have 3 second-round picks. So that's, and the other two, like Breece Hall and Elijah Moore, dude, whether or not LaFleur can figure out how to use them is one thing, but those are first round talents. More people than not thought Elijah Moore was going to go in the first round. He made it to, I think, it's pick 36, so 4 picks outside the first round. That's first round talent. Breece Hall was the best running back in the class. So Robert Saleh was given, even up till now, 7 first round talents. 7. If he can't figure out how to win with that, there's a problem. And that's even including bad quarterback play. You got to figure it out, man. You have to figure it out. I don't give a shit if you have to just do, little 3-yard passes. You have to figure something out and be able to score some points. If that's the case, then Joe Douglas might have to fire him mid-season, seriously, in order for self-preservation. He might have to do that. That said, that's an extreme circumstance. Outside of that, I think we're going to see some improvement, Wait, let's GreenBean. If we can't break your, I know, right? I can't believe that you guys are still here. I know. Well, look, Jets 8:30. And number one, thank you. I saw you as the opening act and shit. You guys are the best. But you know what my 5 minutes is like, right? You know how many times I've gotten in trouble with my wife? I'm like, I'm going to do a 30-minute stream. And she's like, okay, you're going to come in. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do 30 minutes. Literally 2 hours and 15 minutes later, I'm like, guys, I got to go. And I'm in trouble. It happens all the time. Well, this is the thing. So, Joe S., you bring up a great point. Now, I see your other comment that Saleh's not the answer. I see that. Now, I don't know if he is or not. Like I've told you, I don't think we should uproot the whole thing. I really don't. I think, we've had 2 years installing and a lot of people are buying in and the defense is fucking, dude, clearly a major upgrade. Like there's a lot going forward. There's a lot of positives. That said, I have a lot of issues with Robert Saleh, Mike LaFleur. I really do, like legitimate concerns. But pulling the rug out from under him and starting over, I don't think is the answer right now, just yet. But here's the thing, Joe. You're seeing all these reports. Woody's pissed, Woody this, Woody that. And I've been trying to say for a while now, they gave Joe Douglas is the first guy, GM, that they've given full control since Mike Tannenbaum before Rex came. And Tannenbaum was really in conjunction with his coaches. He wasn't just out there making decisions. You can see the difference between Mangini Tannenbaum and Rex Tannenbaum. You can see it. It's a stark difference. But that said, Tannenbaum was in charge. He was the top guy. Since we fired Tannenbaum, Rex and Idzik, McCagnon and Bowles, McCagnon and Gase and JD, none of those guys were general managers were the top guy. They were not in charge. When they fired Adam Gase, they made Joe Douglas the official boss of the football team, the football world. I honestly believe, maybe I'm naive, but I honestly believe that the Johnsons had enough tinkering and pushing things around the way they wanted to do it. They don't know what they're doing. They know they don't know what they're doing. Chris Johnson got taken for a ride, got starstruck with Peyton Manning telling him to hire a coach. He bought in. He thought it was going to be a slam dunk. It was terrible. Woody hired Casserly and Ron Wolf to get himself a coach and GM. Before that, he hired Corn Ferry to get him a GM. He knows. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't want anything to do with it. This is my opinion. And I think that all these reports coming out that Woody's going to make sure this happens and Woody's pissed and he's going to fucking clean house, I think it's all bullshit. Now, maybe tomorrow we fire 5 and maybe I'm wrong. That's very possible. But I don't think I'm wrong. I really don't think so, guys. I think Woody is on the sideline. He's the owner. Of course, he can have say and input and all that shit. But I think Joe Douglas is the boss. And until Joe Douglas is fired, that would be the decision that Woody makes. But I don't think he's going to. Joe Douglas has done so much. Let's see. Snowball says, I don't like Elijah Moore. He runs like a chicken without a head after he catches the ball. It's interesting. We were talking about the most disappointing players this year. I'm surprised Elijah Moore didn't come up because, man, were we expecting him to have a breakout year, and he did not. Matter of fact, it was exactly the opposite. I think Elijah Moore is extremely talented. Again, when we watch the tapes, guys, and I know a lot of you do, but I know a lot of you don't. When you watch the All-22, you sit down and just watch it, and you look at the routes, you'll see that Elijah Moore is open way more than he's thrown to. Way more. Like if we had a quarterback that could just see the field and then once you see it, actually get the ball to the receivers on time, like not being tentative and waiting that extra second and a half, just to like trust he's going to be where you want him to be. Before he even breaks, you throw the ball to a spot where he's going to be. If we were having that, Elijah Moore would be fucking fantastic. That's my belief. But again, that's obviously the quarterback, but I think some of that's on LaFleur as well. Well, New York's now we're talking about the 2 draft picks, right? First of all, I don't think Becton sucks at all. Now, he could be a bust because of his injuries, but he's fucking good, man. That kid, when he was playing, we were calling him Mount Becton. Like, let's not forget how dominant he was. Now, the injury thing, if you can't get past it, right? Availability is the best ability. So if you can't get past it, if he's injured again, then his career might be a complete wash. Sad, but he's not a bust yet, in my opinion. He's not. And now I don't think you can depend on him. You can't like go into next year with Becton being the one left tackle or right tackle that you have. You can't. That said, I think Becton's a fantastic asset to have. And we don't know what his career is. Zach's a big whiff. And you're going dizzy, Omar? No, you're okay. You're fine. You're playing. Let's see what else we got here. I know, right, Billy? It was like, honestly, it was like, that's what I shit you not. I thought the same thing. I'm like, well, this is the way we used to. It's like a forum, right? That's what it was when I was knocked out of here. It was just like being on the old forums. That's what Jetnation is. It's the best. We just talk words. There's no pictures. I mean, there's pictures, but there's no interaction like this. Matthew Smith wants to give 2/3 for Hopkins. I don't want to. I might give 1/3. Again, you got to factor in, Matthew. The money is one thing. He's making $19 million this year and $14 million next year, I think was what we said. And he's old. He's 31 years old. And he was suspended or injured numerous times the last 2 years. So I don't know how much you want to depend on him. Now, if you can get D-Hop for 1/3 and then you just let Corey Davis walk, you're essentially getting DeAndre Hopkins for $9 million more or $8 million more than you're paying Corey. Okay, maybe. Maybe that can justify it. But outside of that, I don't want to depend on him, like him be the big move because he's getting older. And I don't know if I trust. And dude, D-Hop was my favorite wide receiver in the NFL just 3 years ago. So, yeah, Matt, we're still here. We're still here. And my computer's charging right now, which is fascinating. I was just trying to get enough juice into my computer that I could come on, say goodbye, and shut it off because I couldn't shut the fucking stream off with YouTube. I couldn't get in. You guys had more access than I did. A Pump of Wall Street checking in. Thank you, buddy. He says, get Aaron Rodgers and draft Bo Nix. Let's see who Bo Nix is. I haven't even looked, buddy. Let's see. I'm just starting this week. Bo Nix is an American football quarterback for the Oregon Ducks. Well, let's take a look and see where let's do a little thing here. I'm going to share the screen, and I see I got another super chat. I'll get to that. Just a second here. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few things here. So let's see what the positional rankings are with quarterback. So we'll see where Bo Nix is looking. Okay, we got So here's how they have it as of now. They have CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. Obviously, everybody has them up top currently. And then you have Will Levis and you have Anthony Richardson. He's the anomaly, right? Anthony Richardson is the anomaly this year. Then you got Hooker. A lot of people like him and McKee. Jaron Hall, I've heard some people talking about. We stay the fuck away from Jaron Hall, okay? That's what I'm telling you right now. Now, Bo Nix is a 6'2", 213-pound quarterback. Now, I haven't looked at him, man. Like, I haven't dug in. I will. But I will say Zach Wilson is 6'2". Same kind of size. Zach Wilson, I believe, is 227, I think. So size and everything, but it'll be interesting to see. Here's who I want right off the bat. Now, again, I'm just scratching the surface here. I didn't even really dig in. But this is the guy I want right here. What do you think? Sayaki Ika. That's my man right there. 350. And that's what we want. I need a 350-pound monster in there next to my best buddy, Quinnen Williams. That's who I want. So I don't know about Bo Nix, buddy, but I mean, look, I'm all about if we go ahead, like you said, if we go get Aaron Rodgers and we keep Zach Wilson, I gotta say Zach is the young developmental guy. Like, yeah, it'd be difficult to justify bringing on another. Like, you need a backup. You need somebody that if Aaron Rodgers goes down, that you can actually count on to come in for a couple games. Now, I'm fine with that being Mike White. I am. I'm totally fine with it. But if Mike White wants, 12 million or some 15 million, and you got to go another way, maybe you can get Jacoby Brissett, somebody like that. I would love. Can you imagine getting Aaron Rodgers and then being able to score like a Gardner Minshew for like 8 million, 7 million, something like that? And then you have Zach developing. Now you got a quarterback room, baby. Holy shit. That would be great. Joe Pekulik, thank you, buddy. He says, late night with Green Bean, gotta love it. Quick thoughts. Got much more confidence in JD than Saleh. I would give him the full 6 years of his contract. I completely agree. I feel the exact same way. And it's my opinion, even if Joe Douglas missed on Zach, if that becomes official. Like right now, it looks like that, but we don't know. If he misses on Zach and the Saleh hire ends up being a bad hire, I'm still keeping Joe Douglas. I'm letting him learn from his mistakes, and I'm letting him get another crack at this because he's proven he can identify talent. He's proven he can find talent in the later rounds. He's proven that he knows what he's doing with contracts. He's proven that he can get the better of pretty much anybody in trades. Like, dude, there's so much to like, even if he misses on those guys. That's how I feel. Now, I know people disagree, and that's fine, but that's how I feel, Joe. Yeah, Becton looks pretty good. He said he lost a lot of weight. You know what I like about it this year? Last year, and I was okay with it, but last year he was outside the facility. Remember, his girlfriend was going to give birth and all. So he was away. He was training with oh man, what's his name? I can't believe I don't remember his name. Duke Manyweather. He was training with him, and that's all good. But this year, he's been at the Jets facility the whole time. Like, put all the bullshit to bed, bro. You've missed 2 years. Your career's on the line. Just drop all the bullshit that you think this or that. Just stay with the Jets, stay with their trainers, and do exactly what they want you to do. And stop playing games. If your body can't handle the 365 pounds, get down to 350. That's what you get down to 340 if you can. Why not? That's what I think. Vafadoost, I'm going to be real honest. I don't think they do. I think you let him play out. This is his fourth year. So you just let him play it out. And if at the end of the fourth year, you want to sign him, then you do. You know what I mean? I don't think you can. You can't. I mean, the thing is with that, let me see. 5th year option. Let me see. 5th year option. Let's see. Let's just see if there's a price. Here it is. So the projections here. All right. So we're looking at, let me see something. Basic, playtime, 1 Pro Bowl. So, all right, Becton, here he is right here, guys. Okay. Can you guys see this? Let me make sure. All right, so right there. So we're looking at a $14 million 5th-year option. Now, if he's a starting tackle, that price is fine. But if you commit to that 5th year and he's injured or he's even a backup, like that's a ridiculous price to pay. Ridiculous. And I think the fact that he's missed the last 2 full seasons, you've gotten 3 quarters out of him in 2 seasons. I don't think you can. And you guys know I'm a Becton supporter. I got hope for him. I like the type of player he is, like being that big, that dominant. Like I love the idea of Makai Becton. But man, yeah, I don't think you can really, I don't think you can count on him. I really don't. See, but the thing is, Superfan, he wasn't injury prone. In college, he had the one shoulder thing, which was minor. I believe it was a shoulder. He had one little injury in college, and it was nothing. It wasn't like, a big thing where he missed a year or anything. He played 14 games his rookie season. So it's not like he's injury prone. And there's never been a knock that he doesn't care about football. There's never been that. That's brand new. So obviously you can say injury prone now because he missed the last 2 seasons, but I also think that you can have that bad luck streak. I mean, he's 25 years old and, I don't know. I don't think there's he doesn't love the game. I don't know. I don't agree with that. I don't. If we trade for a quarterback, then we'll draft a wide receiver, Hennessy says. I don't know. Now, Ronald Perry in the same way says Zach's a bust, a.k.a. bust. Now, Matt says another name for LaFleur. What'd you call him before? Phony. And then Gitmo Bob, who's in here, he says LaFraud. And now Matt has a third one, Bob. He says LaPew. Dom C says Bo Nix is going back to school. So there's that. Paris says, hey, GreenBean, shouldn't you be concerned that Makai Becton hasn't played a snap in 2 years? His great skills might have maybe. Sure. That's what I mean. I don't think you can count on him. But I don't know, if he's under contract, he's 25 years old. He's a rare size to athleticism ratio. And I don't know, you keep him around. Again, I think we draft somebody. I think you make sure that you're not depending on Makai Becton. He'd be a great swing tackle. And you see if he can stay healthy the whole year as a backup. You know what I mean? Going through practice, because he didn't even make it to a game this year. So you see if he can make it all year healthy, and then you have an argument to see if whether or not you want to count on him. But I think it's too spooky, too much. Billy, you're so right. Now, if we started 0-8 and ended up 7-10, different story. But even in the same way, if we just went 4 wins before the bye and 3 wins after, or vice versa, I think we'd be fine because that's what we expected. But they changed our expectations, man. Like, let's just be real, for good reason. They changed our expectations for good reason. You just can't take it away. Hold on a second. Okay. You just, look, when you're 6-3 going into the bye or whatever the hell it was, you just can't You know, you can't remove that. It's a bad taste to now only win one game after that. It's bad. It is, guys. It's bad. But you can still take positives out of it. You know what I mean? You can. And that's my job, is to remind us about the positives. That's what I'm trying to do out here. Kev Chata, what's up, Kev? He says, has an offense ever improved drastically by just adding an offensive assistant? Oh, I don't know. But I don't think that's what we're going to do. I think we're going to add an offensive assistant to a degree, maybe even a coordinator. You never know. But I also think we're going to add a quarterback. And I think that's the big one. Like I said, while I don't think it would have been enough to take us to the Super Bowl or very far in the playoffs, if everything was the same, the injuries, the coaches, everything, and we had a quarterback that was hitting 65% of his passes and more touchdowns than picks, I think we're in the playoffs. I think it's that simple. That's how close we were. Like, again, I'll remind you, we lost 6 one-score games. We had at least 3 games where we held the other team to no touchdowns offensively. And we had another 3 games that was 1 touchdown. So, like, dude, we were there. We were close. The reason it's so frustrating is because both of those fucking Patriots games were ridiculous. We were right there. The Vikings game, we literally dropped the touchdown pass. We won. The Detroit game, we were a minute and a half left. We were winning. And we one blown play on 4th and inches ended up being a 70-yard touchdown or whatever it was. And what about the second Bills game? That was another one-score game. A one-score game, by the way, that we gave them the fucking touchdown before the half. That was 4th down. We stopped them. CJ Mosley jumped, and that was their only points of the half. And then don't forget, we were driving, and Michael Carter fumbled. So that's what I mean. We were close. We didn't get owned once. The only game you can say we got owned, in my opinion, really, is the Seahawks game. That's the only one. And you do have an argument for the Jaguars game, but I don't think we got owned. I think we just, the fact that we couldn't fucking score is pretty hard to overcome that. Let's see. The forever puddle. You hope he can play, but you can't depend. Yeah, exactly. That's what I think. I think, look, he's part of the mix. He's in the plan, but you can't depend on him. And I think that's the smart way to do it. So, look, Hennessy says, Becton already said his kid is up here. He lives up here, and he'll be ready to go with voluntary. So it's a whole different mentality this year. And I think he learned, man. Like, you have no room for any of that stuff anymore. There's no like, well, hey, I'm working out down here, sending pictures. Nope. That's all in the past. You either stay up here, work up here, and show your face up here and make sure that you're not fat one day and fucking skinny the next. You need to be above board on everything. He needs to walk the line perfectly. And if he does that, hey, he's got a shot. He's got a shot. Well, I mean, we know. Well, look, he got hurt his rookie year on the 14th game, 13th or 14th. Remember, he had the shoulder thing. And then Gase decided to play him through. Like, there was an argument that he should stay out for a game. And he didn't. And he ended up getting, making the injury worse. And so he missed the last 2 games of the season. 2 or maybe I think it was the last 3 games. So he played in the 14th, but he ended up getting hurt. And then obviously we know the last 2 years. That's you don't have to ask a trick question or anything, right? We know. We had 3 quarters in 2021, and that's it. We got 3 quarters. So the answer is none. The last 2 anyway. None games, Jetasonic. None. Garrett, what's up? He's talking to Omar, but he says Brees and ABT were the real winning quarterbacks on that 5. I'll tell you what, we knew it, right? When those guys went down, we knew it was a heavy-duty hit. We knew it. But never could we have realized it was that big of a hit. You know what I mean? Never. So let's look at these guys real quick. Let's see. Here's who we got. Now, Skronsky, they're actually, I read something yesterday. They were talking about he might be a top 5 pick. He's a little light. No, 300, but he's a little light for me. 6'4", 294. Paris Johnson and Broderick Jones are another one. And there's a guy down here. Where was he? Ryan Hayes, somebody was talking about. 6'6", 307. So I can't wait to really dig into these guys. Admittedly, it's all surface for me right now. I can't wait. This is the week I start doing it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to do this with you guys. But let's look at the guards. Look at these guys. Look at this guy. 6'2", 324. You got Osiris Torrance from Florida. Andrew Voorhees. Like Jason Voorhees. He's of the Jason Voorheeses. Bo Limmer, right? So you got some names here we got to look at. Look at Jarrett Patterson. Where's Rusty Spooner? Jarrett Patterson last year, if he would have came out as a center, he would have been a first-round pick, no doubt. Now this year they're talking about him as a guard, but he took a hit. He doesn't have the same rep as he did. Look, he's not even listed as a center. He was a center last year. So here's our centers. Let's go get this guy. This is the guy we want right here. Olusegun Oluwatimi. That's who we want, right? That's my guy. Alex Forsyth. We were talking about him last year. A lot of these guys. So I have some intel on some of these guys. But that's what we're looking at here. These are the thing. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't be upset, guys, if the Jets went offensive tackle and in the second went guard. And then like in the third round, you go free safety, or maybe you go free safety in the second, but then you take a guard in the third and then another one in the fourth, a guard center, somebody who can play both in the fourth. There's no reason. Fourth round centers and guards start all the time, man. All the time. Paris says Makai Becton lost too much weight in a short period of time is probably the real reason why he got hurt in practice. He was huge early on and came to training camp losing too much mass. That was over like, what was it? It was like 4 or 5 weeks, right? He ended up, it was like, remember when he came to practice and he had that big shirt, the big blue shirt, looked like a fucking smock. And it said it was big bust, the big bust shirt. He was big. And then 4 weeks later, he comes back. And he looked like a slender, remember he had the pictures with the dentist? So that's a good point. Your body can't handle that stuff, man. You got to do things the right way. Hey, there he is. Look at this guy. Jeremy's here. What's up, Jets Chaos? How you doing, buddy? He says a decimated offensive line and premier running back returning, a new quarterback and assistant coach. Yes, a big jump is believable. I'm with you. I think the offensive line, AVT comes back. You got Becton in the mix, but you draft an offensive tackle, you draft a guard, and maybe you bring in somebody else. I think we're fucking money in the bank as long as we get a quarterback. Garrett Peters is raining on my parade. This is called pissing in my cornflakes with this one. Carr goes to Tennessee, Jimmy goes to LA, and Brady goes to Miami. Then what? Well, you can trade for Aaron Rodgers. You can go and get Gardner Minshew. I wouldn't be upset with Gardner. I know a lot of people would, and it's not my plan A, but I wouldn't be terribly upset with Gardner Minshew. I think you give him the season. You guys look at Minshew's numbers, guys. Here, just so you know. Just so we know what we're looking at. Number one, it surprises a lot of people to realize he's just finished his rookie contract. He's still on his rookie contract right now. You see this? Oh, sorry, this one. He's going into his 5th year, guys. That's it. So he's a young buck. Let's see. He is 6'1", 225. So that's the knock on Gardner. Man, he's got an inch less than Zach Wilson, who looks small, right? So he's 6'1", not too small, but not huge. He's 26 years old. He'll be 27 at the beginning of next year's season. So now look, where is it? The first. So this is what people are saying. So they lost 20 to 10. He was 18 of 32 for a 56% completion percentage, 274 yards, 1-1. So, people are, obviously these last games, he didn't look great, but he's still better than what we're getting. But let's look at his career. Now, you got, this is his rookie year. He started 12 games. He was 6-6. He had a 60.6 completion percentage, 3,200 yards, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. The next year, he had a 66% completion percentage, 2,200, 16 TDs, 5 interceptions. Then the next year, he's a backup now. So he's throwing 68%, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. And this year, he's got 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So even this, not terrible. And 57.9, that's what we're looking at here. But, like with our quarterbacks, this is even just a touch higher than we're used to getting. But his career is just under 63% completion percentage with 44 touchdowns and 15 picks. Does that sound terrible to you? Again, not my plan A. But anyway, I know, Kev, but this is the thing. Again, who's buying this shit that Woody wants to fire all the coaches? What does Woody know? That's such bullshit, in my opinion. Now, maybe I'll stand corrected if it happens, but I think all those stories are horseshit. That's what I think. That's what I think. Let's see here. We'll do a couple more. Don't forget, guys, if you want to support the channel, hit that little like button there for everything I overcame tonight to hang with you. Don't forget as well, you can also join the Stream Beaners and get fun little emojis, and we're going to do a private mock or 2 this season. And don't forget, next year we're going to do a fantasy league. I'm going to figure that out. But yeah, and you get free super chats from that membership as well. And if you want a more entailed membership where we are with me fucking almost every day, you can join the Beanbaggers, and that link is in the description. And you can pick your tier. The tier 2 and 3, obviously you get more stuff. Tier 3s get a t-shirt, and they get to be a guest on the Thursday thick of it as well. Hey, Bang Mateo, where you been, buddy? I haven't seen you in a minute, I think. So he doesn't like Paris Johnson. So this is the thing that we got to figure out, right, Bang? We got to look at, what do we like and what do we don't like about these guys? It's like when we were talking about Zach Wilson when he was coming out, I liked his arm. I liked his mobility, but I did not like the fact that he was never under pressure. And when he was, he looked like a completely different quarterback. It scared the shit out of me. I didn't think his footwork was great when under pressure. And I think a lot of people overlooked that. And if you had maybe a Greg Knapp, maybe he could work him through that. But we did not have the chops to do that, to fix him. So these are the things we got to look at. Omar, well, I don't know. I think we have a lot of competent coaches on the team. I mean, look what John Benton did with this, just the most injuries I've ever seen on the offensive line in 1 year. I've never seen anything like this year. Never. Particularly at tackle. So we had 3 injuries to the guard position with, ABT went down, then you had Herbig go down, Feeney came in, then Herbig came back, then Herbig went down again, and Dr. Blocker came in. So, but that's just the guard position. But the tackles, holy shit. Never seen anything like it. But look what John Benton did. Never at any point, as bad as it got, We were never as bad as the Mike Maccagnan years on the offensive line. Mike Maccagnan's offensive lines were atrocious. We were never that bad. And I think that's a lot of credit goes to the coaches, man. Jets 830 says, next year is our year. We got a number one wide receiver. We got a number one running back, a number one cornerback. We can have number one offensive line, top 10 D, top. See, Jets 830, you're my kind of fella. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I believe. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know, Omar. The Zach dream, again, I would be ecstatic if for some reason Zach has to come back in and he's great. Nothing would make me happier. You know what would be funny? Zach probably won't be good unless we go out and pay $40 million for a quarterback. If we go out there and we get Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr, then they get injured for a week. Zach's going to come in and throw for 400. You'll see. That's the only way Zach's going to be great, because then it would make us look stupid for fucking buying a quarterback. You know what I mean? So that's how it's going to work, because that would make it painful. We can't have it just be good. Mike Saunders likes Minshew too. I know, I really do. Again, it's not my plan A, but I wouldn't be upset with that one. You go get, like, if you're going to do that, and again, I don't know how they feel about Mike White, but maybe you go get Gardner Minshew and Jacoby Brissett, and you have Zach Wilson behind those guys. I think that would be a good plan. That's a strong, solid plan. Let's see. Paris says, can Minshew play the West Coast offense? I don't know. And that's obviously a major factor, right? I don't really know what offenses he was running down there in Jacksonville. I know he had two separate coaches in there. So, I mean, Jacksonville up until this year has been a fucking train wreck, Paul Westhoff, who's that? It's the same. Well, it says 6'1". Zach is technically 6'2" and 2/3, I think it is, right? So I like to call that 6'3", Snowball's bringing up Baker Mayfield. I got to be honest, man. I'm not in the Baker Mayfield camp. I don't like him. I think he's an ass. And I think that if that personality that he has, if he comes to New York and he's our starter, the press here, it's going to be blood in the water, guys. They're going to find everything they can, every way they can to make him spout off, say stupid shit. They're going to blow it. I just think Baker Mayfield would be a train wreck here. And look, and he's struggled on the field. He's looked much better than Sam Darnold or Zach Wilson, to be sure, but he's struggled too. And, look, not every teammate loves him. There's a lot there, man. Right? Yeah, New York Jets super fan. I agree with you on that one. Joe Pekulik says Woody's an idiot. All Woody has to do is stay the fuck out of the way. Stop it. Just stop it. Get out of the way, please. Pump of Wall Street says Minshew literally puts up similar numbers as Goff. I love Minshew. I know. I think he gets a bad rap. And again, he's only been in the league 4 years, guys. He had a year and a half as a starting quarterback in Jacksonville or so, maybe not even a year and a half. And then they traded him to Philly, and he's been there behind Hurts for a while, for 2 years. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, he's still on his rookie contract. You can get Minshew, in my opinion, for probably $10 million, maybe a little bit more. Am I still on two cameras? Yeah, look at me. What else we want to look at here? So there's Minshew. Who else you want to see? You want to look at any stats? Jay, congratulations. Chaos won the Jets Talk 24/7 football fantasy league. I suck, dude. I'm like 3 and 15, 14, whatever the fuck it is. Kev Chada, GreenBean, is Minshew on par or better than Geno's for? Let's take a look. Let's take a look at little Geno Smith. Let's see what happened with him. Let's see. So we're talking about his 4th year stats. So we got 2013, 14, 15, 16. So Geno Smith he only played 2 games. So you can't really, he was 57. Let's look at his 2015. This was the year that we built that whole team for Geno. Like the Fitzpatrick year, let's not forget the Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, Chris Ivory, Revis, Cromartie, Gilchrist, Buster Screen. Those guys, that team was built around a young 3rd-year Geno Smith. He was given a very strong situation. And it's really sad, but he's a moron. He got his jaw broken in his own locker room. What does that say? And the rumor was that his team, his linemen, they didn't even come to his defense. IK knocked his ass out. And other than breaking it up, like nobody was mad about, dude, because he was being a jerk off. And that kind of stuff. It's just a shame. And then when Fitzpatrick went down, that's what this is. The one game he played, Fitzpatrick went down and he came in and then he got injured. Remember that? Look, he threw 27 for 42, 64%, 265, 2 touchdowns and a pick, and he got injured. And Fitzpatrick came back. Terrible. So, but let's look at his 3rd-year stats. So his 3rd-year stats look like this. Sorry. His 3rd-year stats. Yeah, well, not really. You can't even do his 2nd-year stats we got to do. Because again, but he had 59.7% completion percentage, which is still better than Zach or Sam, but not good enough. 25, 13 touchdowns, 13 picks. Look at his rookie, 12 touchdowns, 21 picks. That's just crazy, dude. 28 sacks. Look at his rookie year, 43 sacks. Dude, it's just terrible what we've had to fucking endure, guys. I'm sick of it. I just want a damn quarterback. You know what I mean? I just need a fucking quarterback. And this is the thing, like when I talk about Derek Carr, it's like I'm so surprised that so many Jets fans don't want him. Like, if just go back the last 10 years, go all the way back to fucking Testaverde, Chad, go back to Chad, even the Sanchez years, dude. Our quarterback play has been garbage. Everything we've been able to accomplish has been overcoming our quarterback. Let's look at Mark Sanchez real quick. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't looked at Mark Sanchez's stats. I don't even know, man. Like, seriously, I can't even tell. It's been a decade at least. All right. Let's take a look at Sanchez. 2009, his rookie year. He had a 53.8% completion percentage. Look at this shit, guys. This is what we're dealing with. 2,444 yards, 12 touchdowns, 20 picks. Obviously, there's more stuff here, but let's see. 2010, this is our big 11-5 year. 54.8% completion percentage. Dude, that's fucking 55%. 3,291 yards. And this is in all 16 games, guys. 17 touchdowns, 13 picks. This is what we get. This is a good year for us. The next year, 2011, we only made it to 8-8. This is when in his defense, they decimated his team. He didn't have Braylon Edwards. He didn't have Jericho Cotchery. He didn't have Brad Smith. Dustin Keller got injured, I believe, or maybe we let him go. I forget which year that was, but they brought in Plaxico Burress, and then they gave him Derek Mason. So this is pretty much his best year. 2011. It's a shame because finally he has a really good year considering, and then the rest of the team was shit. 33,474 yards, 27 touchdowns, 18 picks. How many sacks? He got sacked a lot. 39 sacks, guys. Holy shit. But this is it, guys. Look, his career is 56.6% completion percentage, guys. 86 touchdowns, 89 picks. Do you see it? Oh, sorry. I'm with you, though, Dom. I'll get right to you, Joshua. Here it is. Joshua, thank you for the super chat. GreenBean, what do you think of the first move is going to be this offseason for the Jets? Quarterback placement, new coach? Well, last year, I desperately wanted our first move to be guard. I wanted a guard. Now, the guard I wanted, I had a few, right? I had a few guards that I liked. Kappa was one of them. Number one on top of the list was Pro Bowler Laken Tomlinson. And he has not been so good. Now, this year, what I think is, I think if we're going to do any coaching thing, I think that's going to come first. Now, that's if we do something. There's no guarantee that we're going to, guys. There's no guarantee. I think we should, and I think we will, but there's no guarantee. But if we do that, that's going to come first. Then we're going to have to start looking at the quarterback thing because that has to happen. Like, dude, you cannot play games in free agency. You got to go get your guy, whoever the hell it is. So that's what I think. I also think we're going to bring in an offensive lineman via free agency. I don't know if that'll be a depth piece. We're going to have to figure out center. We don't have a center, and we have fucking Feeney. So I don't know. I really don't know, man. I think the coach thing will be first. Ballsby hurting, likes Carr. I know. What is this? Riz, what are you saying, man? This is not the first time I've heard this. Carr wears eyeliner like The Undertaker. Dead man reincarnated. There's a few people, I've heard it. They say, I don't like him. He wears mascara. And I'm like, I don't care if he wears mascara. Do you, Mark? Do you give a shit? I don't care. I really don't. What, the whole thing, Namath wore pantyhose, remember? I don't care. I really don't care. Let's see. All right, we'll do a couple more here. We're going to get out of here. Has it been 5 minutes yet? Ronald Perry, Carr, or Minshew is fine with me. That's where I stand. I'd be really happy with if we figured out an Aaron Rodgers trade and it made sense. I'm totally fine with that. I would love it, actually. Because then you got the byproduct, which is that Zach, it would be under him. And then you have that positive benefit as well. But Jimmy G, I'd be happy with Jimmy G too. I'm very concerned. I don't like his injury history. And I don't like that that's who we'd be counting on. But I think he'd be more than adequate. I think he would be fine. I think he would be all we need for this offense to be perfect. That's what I mean. It would be as good as we need it to be. That's what I think with Jimmy G. But I'm really hoping that Derek Carr, if I had my druthers, it'd be Derek Carr. And if we could get a Brissett or Minshew behind him, I would lose it if I could get Derek Carr and Gardner Minshew, sign them both for fucking 5 years. You know what I mean? I think Minshew's going to want to start somewhere, though. But maybe not. You say, hey, dude, the Eagles are offering you $6 million. We'll offer you 10. Come here and be our backup for 5 years behind Derek Carr. Yeah. I'm with you, Mark. Think about it. We've never had another quarterback that made it to 4,000 yards, and it's embarrassing. Even in our best years, like look at Sanchez, dude, his best years. You know, you got the 2011 ended up being his best year, but we were 8-8. And we didn't make the playoffs that year. Then the next year, 6-9. Tannenbaum got fired. Then Tannenbaum got fired after this one. So we had, where's 2013? Oh, maybe he didn't play? Where's 2013? That's weird. Anyway, point remains 4-4. You know, I don't know. That's just him, though. That's not our overall record. All right, guys, listen. We're going to end this one. Jets, babe. Carr. Yeah, and Tammy, Carr is good at pad statting, but I think that's a very, very weak point. He's not a stat padder. You know, he's got shitty defense. Again, you got to remember, he's never had a defense better than 20th in the NFL. Never. He's had complete tumult with his coaching and regime changes. The offensive lines, he's had some of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. They take his receivers away. I mean, dude, there's all kinds of stuff you can stack on top of it. The bottom line is, he's not the reason they're fucking losing. It's not. All right, guys, listen. I'm going to go. You guys are the best. I'll leave you with the Monday night. I'm going to redo this one for Monday, though. I'm going to remake it for you guys. But this is the one that we were looking at last year. It's painful, but it's a reminder. Don't forget who we are. When you say you don't want players like Derek Carr or somebody like that, don't forget where we came from, everybody. We've had quite the tough go. So where is it? Where are you? Guys, I'll see you for the Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow morning, actually. Oh, shit, I forgot. I wouldn't be staying up this late. Good Morning Jets is on at 9 a.m. We do about an hour in the morning. So I'll see you tomorrow morning, guys. I hope you can all join me. Please don't forget to like the video on the way out. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. We're like 55 away from 10,000. It's like trickling now. Help me get there. And you guys are the best. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Johnny Lamb Jones. Wide receiver. As a season ticket holder of the Jets, I'm going to fool Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Obviously, the Jets know something that, you know, the people up there don't.
Fullback. Hello. Roger Vick. Jeff Lageman.
Jets just don't understand the dress all about.
Blair Thomas, running back, Penn State. Johnny Mitchell. The New York Jets select tight end from Penn State, Kyle Brady. Vernon Golson.
Cleveland traded the 5th pick to the New York Jets. And with the 5th pick in the 2009 NFL Draft, New York Jets select Mark Sanchez.
D. Milner. Smith. Jets select quarterback Christian Hackenberg.
Sam Darnold.
The New York Jets select Zach Wilson.
Future Pro Bowler Elijah Moore.
Michael Carter, running back.